Good morning. Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 302, and we're here live in Southwest Florida waiting on the sun to rise over the buildings and the trees to the east, and this is the Gulf of Mexico behind me. If you are joining me live, please say hello. Let me know what you've been crafting on, if you're working on anything this morning. I had every intention of bringing something to work on this morning, and I have my bag all packed and ready to go, and it's sitting on the kitchen counter. Good morning, DJ. Thanks for joining live. Hi, Julie. Hi, Karen. Hi, Vera. Thanks for joining live. Yeah, so I finished these. Good morning, Judy. Look at that, a yarn emoji and a mermaid emoji, my favorites. Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining live. Hi, Joe. Good morning, Grace. So for those of you that have notifications for my YouTube channel, like subscribers, you probably got an email last night. Hi, Lisa. That the third video was released for the Shangri-La Tapestry crochet bag. So 3 of the 4 videos are now available. In every video description now, I've also added a link to our Ravelry group, which is where the crochet along is going to be. So once you order your yarn and you want to, your first post could be that you're just going to join us. Some people's first post is going to be posting photos of the colors that they chose. And then throughout the weeks or the whole month of January, maybe people will be posting their progress photos, and everyone will get a chance to comment on everyone else's photos, give encouragement to each other, just feel like part of a community. And if you have any questions, other people can help support you through that. Like I said, there's going to be 4 videos to go along with the pattern, with the chart. So lots and lots of ways to learn how to tapestry crochet to make the Shangri-La bag. Good morning, Edna. Good morning, Melissa. Hi, Ruthie. Thanks for joining live, everybody. Good morning, Donna. Hi, Mar. Mar's working on a lace cowl and waiting on her yarn. Awesome. Yep, I'm shipping out the yarn as soon as the orders come in. So trying very hard to get the orders out same day as they come in so that everyone can get their yarn right away, because I know everyone's excited to make the tapestry bags. I am getting ready to start the 4th and final video today. Hopefully it'll get released later today, if not, probably tomorrow. So the 4th and final video is going to be showing you how to make the 2-part cord that ends up being the strap to the bag, and then showing how to assemble the bag and the cord. Oh, Vera's order shipped 3 hours after she placed it. Yeah, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? You know, if I'm sitting there, if I'm shipping and working on labels and packing orders, and orders come in before I have to leave for the post office, I mean, sometimes an order can come in and it gets shipped within an hour of coming in. It just depends on where I am in the cycle. Sometimes it takes a couple of days, not often. I mean, I'll work late into the night to try to make sure that orders go out within 24 hours. As you all know, it's really important to me to do that. Jane ordered hers last night. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this. And what's going to be fabulous is once you get the experience of doing this first beginner tapestry crochet project, I think the next one's going to be a mystery crochet along, because I think it'll be so much fun for you to sit there and follow along in the instructions and have no idea what the picture is going to be until you finish. I mean, this one alone is going to be fun, because if you've never done this type of color work before, you're going to be so proud of yourself as you see the picture evolving as you're crocheting. So that's going to be fun alone, but then doing a mystery one where you don't know what picture I designed for, that's going to be fun too. So maybe we'll do that the following month. I started thinking about designing that pattern last night and didn't actually get around to start drawing it or anything. But I was thinking that it might be fun to do that one as a cowl instead of a bag. So I was wondering what everybody thought of a mystery 3 to 4 color tapestry crochet cowl for February. So I'll just throw that out there and see what everyone says. And while I'm waiting to hear your answers, someone mentioned my shawl today, which I'm wearing as a scarf. This is the second colorway that I did in the Marissa shawl, which is a knit project in Motif Magic, the book that I came out with this year that has 17 projects with join as you go motifs to knit and crochet. This is one of the knit projects. It starts with these beautiful motifs at the bottom. You make them separately and then pick up and knit to work the shawl bottom up. Yeah, Karen, I was thinking it would be a loose cowl because I'd like to do a pretty intricate pattern, and in order to do that we'll need a pretty decent size multiple. So I think making it a little bit looser, and because the fabric will be reversible, it'll look really cool that when it drapes open you would get to see both. Lisa loves the idea too. Wonderful. Okay, so then I wanted to tell you the colors that this is done in. This is Be So Fine yarn, and this is in colorways Stormy Sea, Lilac Memories, and Crushed Berries. Now, it's a half circle shawl, so super easy to wear as a shawl, but to wear it as a scarf, I like to cinch the sides a little wider than shoulder length, drape it around my neck from the front to the back, bring the sides back around, and then zhuzh this section to make it look more like a cowl. And you can see the drape of the Be So Fine bamboo yarn is so amazing for draping fabric. So taking a shawl and turning it into any other draped styled accessory is so easy to do. And look at that, you wouldn't even know that that's a shawl. It definitely looks like a cowl. I love those three colors together as well. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, fine yarns are amazing for shawls. I agree. Thanks, Karen. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for joining live. The beach is full of activity this morning. We've got runners and walkers, sitters, and we have tons of birds too. So let me turn the camera around so you can see. This is the beach to the south of us. Visibility is pretty weak. Can't see too far into Naples and definitely can't see Marco Island. But we've got lots of birds, few walkers and joggers, and Ritz-Carlton is set up for sunbathers. There's the sun coming up over the buildings and the trees to the east, and then we've got quite a bit of activity to the north of us with lots of walkers. Poor visibility again over there. No Fort Myers Beach or Sanibel today, but lots of birds walking around. They're just checking everybody out, probably looking to see who has food and what everyone's doing. Maybe they're being a little nosy, who knows? I love personifying animals. It's so funny to me. Hi Patricia, hi Melissa, thanks for joining live everybody. Lisa wants to know why I use Susan Bates crochet hooks. Good question. Susan Bates has a style of anodized metal called Silvalume, and I feel, first of all, it's a little sparkly, which never hurt anybody, but it's also so highly polished, I guess. It goes so smoothly over all yarn that I find I have the most speed when I use those. However, they are the first crochet hooks I use too, so that's where I have an affinity towards the Susan Bates versus the Boy style of crochet hooks. One's called inline and the other one's called something else. I get them mixed up, but there's no wrong crochet hooks to use, so I do like pointing out that whatever you prefer is totally fine. I have a strong affinity towards the style of the Susan Bates because of the way they're made, opposite of the way Boy is made. They're inline. Thanks, Grace. I always forget which one's inline. Oh, Tulip is interesting too, because Tulip is a hybrid, I believe, in my opinion, between Boy and Susan Bates. I think Boy and Susan Bates are extremely different. Tulip is somewhere in the middle. I like using Tulip sometimes, but I love using Susan Bates. Some crochet hooks are made in the style of Boy or in the style of Susan Bates, and some are even made in the style of Tulip. And then you have the different finishes you can do them. Like the anodized metal is I think it's aluminum maybe, not sure, but love that the most. Bamboo and wood are both very nice too, especially if you're trying to learn something new. That little extra bit of friction can sometimes help you from getting your yarn to slip off your needles and hooks. I think that's even more important when you're changing when you're learning something new in knitting. Could not see that comment. It was too long and went too quickly. Sorry about that. It looked like it was a question about tapestry. If you want to ask it again, go ahead, and if I don't get to it, please feel welcome to leave it in the recorded version, because then I do have the ability to answer all of the questions. So back to hooks. Like I said, there is no wrong way. There's no wrong price that you need to spend money on. Whatever your budget is, whatever's most comfortable in your hands, and whatever allows you to enjoy your creative process, and whatever gives you the best stitches for you is fine. But I know a lot of people like to ask me, and I think that's great. I love giving my recommendations because they come from the heart and from experience. So yes, Susan Bates would be my favorite hooks, and you can find those in my Amazon shop. If you would like to use the same ones that I use, you would go to amazon.com/shop/Kristin Omdahl, and they're in my knitting and crochet folder on there. Sherry's never used bamboo hooks. Yeah, you know, they're fun. They warm up in your hands, which is nice. And sometimes it's just nice to do something different, but I can't say they do anything magically different than the metal ones. One thing that I don't care for is plastic hooks, or the lucite or whatever. I'm not even sure, acrylic, I'm not even sure what they're made of, but the plasticky ones, I don't like them. I feel like they slow me down. I prefer metal or bamboo. I feel like they go quicker. And for me, maybe it's because I work in the industry, speed's important to me. But I'm also someone that likes to do things quickly anyways. Oh, Karen was talking about the throat of the hook. That's an interesting point too. I don't do well with ergonomic hooks because, and even this is a problem that I have with Boy, because the throat gets larger towards the back end of the hook. I think that I do a very exaggerated movement when I make stitches. So anytime I can't slide my yarn all the way up the throat, it shortens my movement, and then, you know, anytime your movement can't be done the way you want it to be done, it affects the quality of your work and the, what do you call it? Consistency of your work. So anything that stops me from being able to slide my yarn up the throat is a problem for me. So ergonomics are tough for me sometimes, which means tulip can be tough for me sometimes, and even Boy, because where they put the numbers gets wider there too. You know what, Karen, it depends on the bamboo hooks, right? I had a supplier make some samples for me, and I was going to sell them a while back, and I had them make them so that they didn't get wider there, and they worked great, but I couldn't be competitive with the mass market of hooks, so that's why I couldn't sell them. I can't buy enough quantity to sell them at the same price that the big companies can. So that was why I stopped pursuing that. Wait and see if there's any other questions on hooks. Love being able to answer questions about stuff like this, because especially if you're new to a craft, these are things that you don't learn in a book, right? You don't learn about this much about tools. Hi Catherine, thanks for joining live. Oh, Sharon and Catherine and Ventura, hello both of you. Good to have you here. So happy to see so many familiar names joining me live, watching this beautiful sunrise. Melissa likes buying the cheaper hooks because she loses them. Hey, yeah, if you lose stuff often and you need to replace them, price is important. I agree, definitely. There's some really, really expensive hooks out there that are, you know, handcrafted and handmade, and I've heard that people like them a lot, but I'm not comfortable spending a whole lot of money on them because unfortunately I do lose hooks too. So Susan Bates is something that I don't feel guilty about misplacing and replacing. Oh my man, I don't even want to know how many 4mm crochet hooks I've bought over the years, or 5mm, which would be G and H. Don't even want to know. And it seems like I'm always looking for one. And I feel like I'm pretty organized. Good morning. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Judy. Nikki has some with an ornamental end. That sounds wonderful too. Now, those can get tricky too, because once you put weight on the end of the hook, then it doesn't stay as balanced in your hand in the spot you normally work in. I wish I had a crochet hook to demonstrate this morning, because that's actually a very interesting point too. Once you, like, even if you're with the, what do you call the Tunisian hooks, those can be hard to use sometimes because once they go longer, the weight balance is different. So where you normally hold the hook that keeps your hand and the hook balanced can get off balance, and then that affects the movement that you're used to doing. And however you're used to moving your hands is what keeps your stitches and your tension consistent. So anytime something changes, it changes everything. So if something has a lot of ornamentation at the end, or even a bead or something at the end, you may have to adjust where you hold that hook. Sherry, yeah, and with Tunisian, sometimes they come with the cord on the back side, and when you have the weight of the yarn on there, when you have everything on, then I think it seems more balanced. But when you're starting and don't have it on there, I feel any stitches on the cord, I feel like the weight is really off balance and can be hard to do. God, I wish I had hooks to show you. I'll try to bring some one day this week so I can show what I'm talking about. So I normally hold a pencil hold. When I'm doing Tunisian on a cord, I find that switching to knife hold, which is holding from the top, sometimes that helps me to keep the weight balance better while I'm absorbing the weight of that extra weight at the end of the hook, whether it's the cord or the extra longer actual stick, or if there's some sort of ornament on the end. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? Because these are all really important things to consider when you're buying things. Patricia inherited her mom's hooks and she had various brands. That's great. That's great. You know, and with a situation like that, whatever you learn on sometimes is just fine and easy, right? Good morning, Mocha. Hi, Belle. Yeah, it's always a good time. It's never a bad time to ask about stuff like that, Lisa, because you never know who's listening, and chances are there are other people that have the same questions. And talking in detail about hooks like that is something that you don't, where are you going to learn that? You're not going to learn that in a tutorial video about a stitch or about a pattern. It's stuff that you learn through experience or through friends that you ask. So, what was I going to say? Then, but I do want to go back to my first point, and my first point was that there's no wrong way to knit and crochet. There are no wrong tools. There are no bad tools or good tools. Whatever works for you is great. So whatever is in your budget, whatever makes your stitches consistent, whatever makes your hands feel good, and whatever you like. So it doesn't matter, but you know, everybody, and even as I've been explaining what I like and don't like about different ones, if you've noticed in the live stream comments, there are people that agreed and disagreed with me, and that's okay. There are all sorts of reasons to love all of them, from the cheapest to the most expensive, to the inline, to whatever the other one's called, the hybrids, the different materials. It doesn't matter, whatever works for you. Lisa's got a bunch of different types of hooks too. I have all inline hooks except for some of the tulip style. Those would be the two types that I have. I avoid the other style just because it doesn't work for me. But again, that's okay. I have lots of friends that prefer boy and don't like the Susan Bates inline style, and that's great too. Yeah, I don't have any with me to explain further, Vera. It depends on what your question is. There are no, I mean, whatever works for you is fine. Oh, wow, Constance got a gift certificate to my shop for Christmas. Wonderful. That's great. I think I'm missing some side conversations. I don't understand some of the comments. Yeah, some hooks and needles work better with some different yarns too. I think especially when you go into the different materials. So when you're learning something new, I think keeping things consistent or keeping things slow is important. So for example, if you want to learn how to work on a lace weight yarn and you're used to working with worsted weight yarn, I think using needles or hooks that have a little bit of friction is good for learning. So let's say you want to use a lace weight yarn, I would switch to bamboo or wood over an anodized metal because it won't be as quick. You want to do something that gives you a little bit of friction so your stitches don't fly off your needles or hooks. That's, I think, my best example for when to change yarn, or when to change your material of hooks and needles to for a different type of yarn. I missed the comments again. I'm pretty good at this most of the time. I think there's some conversations going on though. Maybe that's what it is. So like they look really long, but then yeah, you absolutely need to learn how to control the yarn first, and that's a prime example for like double pointed needles. So if you want to learn how to work knitting in the round with double pointed needles, absolutely start with wood needles, not metal, just so that you have a little more control over the yarn on them. That would be my opinion. And I have a great set of affordable double pointed bamboo needles in my Amazon shop that I use and that I would highly recommend. So if you're thinking about making socks or working anything in the round on double point needles, I would definitely recommend starting there because most yarn will stay on there securely. It's a lot easier to learn than on metal. But once you get going, metal can be really fun when you want to pick up your speed, which is what I eventually really like to do. Does anybody have any other questions about this? Yes, I like the sound of the sea too, Mocha. Sometimes I feel like I talk too much through it. It's so mesmerizing to listen to the waves, isn't it? Seems like it's going to be a really relaxing day down here. Wish I could stay the whole day. I got stuff to do. At least we come down in the morning, right? So someone was asking about the crochet along just now, and there is no wrong time to start it. You can start whenever your yarn arrives. I'm going to wait about a week to start posting in the crochet along to give everybody a chance to get their yarn and get started. I think it'd be great if people just post photos of whatever colors they choose first. So when your package arrives, take a photo of your colors and tell everybody what you chose. You may inspire other people to pick colors too. I meant to bring colors this morning to show you some different colors together, and I think maybe even allow you to ask me to pick up 2 together. So if I remember, we'll do that tomorrow. And just want to still give several, another week for everybody to have an opportunity to buy the yarn and get ready. So the first week of January, I will start picking some random people to win prizes for participating, and then each week we'll hopefully have different levels of progress done, and then by the end of the month we will be done with the crochet along, and there'll be a final prize, and again going to be randomly chosen from all of the comments throughout the month. But it'll just be fun to watch everybody's progress, and really great for you all to feel like you're part of a group. I think we all spend a lot of time alone, right? We spend a lot of time working alone, creating alone, thinking alone, and so anytime we can feel like we're part of a community, I think that's really special. And so I think it's going to be fun to be able to see other people's colors and see other people's progress, and maybe even encourage each other when some people have questions or get stuck. So all the way around, it's going to be a lot of fun. So don't feel rushed. If you already have your yarn, great. If you don't, that's okay too. We're not even going to start till the first week of January, just to make sure everybody's up to speed. If, like I said, if you want to start now, if you've already got your yarn, that's fine. The pattern's available, the videos are up. I've got 3 of the 4 videos done. Karen's alone most of the time. Me too, Karen. I work in a bubble. I work from home, so I rarely see other people. So it's so wonderful. And that's one of the things that's so great about this podcast, is that we, because of the live stream technology, we get to talk in the morning, and it's just so great. I feel like we have more socialization this way, and so anytime I can do projects like this where we can all work together and talk together, it makes everybody not feel very alone. Yeah, DJ's alone most of the time. Oh, DJ's never alone. Oh, good for you. Yeah, I know a lot of us spend most of our time alone. And it's good sometimes, and it's not so good some other times. So it's great. Or or a lot of people don't have friends that are crafters, and that's another thing that makes doing crochet along so fun, or the live stream craft podcast so fun, is that this is your opportunity to talk to like-minded crafters, and that's something that I think a lot of us miss in our real life. Yeah, Lisa, maybe having other crafters to talk with, sometimes that's hard too. Gail's alone except for her dog. Yeah, I mean, it's being able to talk about crafts and talk about yarn. That's the thing that we definitely miss in our everyday lives, even if we have friends and family around. They can only listen to us talk about crafting so long, right? Well, I'm glad you're here too, Edna. I'm glad everybody's here. I'm glad you're here, Melissa. I'm glad everybody's here. So grateful for all of you. Well, we are almost out of time. Patty, if you go to the link at the bottom of the video description, it'll show you where my Ravelry group is, and it's one of the top posts. It's going to be the new crochet along for January called the Shangri-La Tapestry Crochet Bag. I can't see who asked, but no, I have not started back up the knit night again. I just don't have a consistent spot in my schedule for doing that right now. So it's still on hiatus. Hopefully it'll come back again soon, but I can't consistently do something like that right now. My time is just really spread thin, but that's okay. When it's the right time, I'll be able to do it again. So let's take this last minute here to look out on this beautiful view, soak in the sound of the waves for one more minute, and set our intentions for the day. Oh, I wish you could smell it. It smells so good here today. Fresh and clean with a little bit of salt in the air. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the sound of the waves, the beautiful scenery, chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.